Welcome to the Richard and YG's YouTube channel, where we follow the biggest stories what's happening around the Super Falcons, the Super Eagles, and Nigerian football in general. Today, big focus will be on what's happening and what would happen around the Super Falcons second leg against Benin Republic. Now, what would happen in that particular game? Four take-home points or four things we should expect in that particular game. Now, before I talk about the four things we should expect, let's talk about what have been happening around the Super Falcons. Yeah, in the last few, maybe like 1 week, they had the first leg. It's the qualifiers for the WAFCON. The WAFCON also would be qualifiers into the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. So they had a first leg against Benin in Togo some few days ago, and it was 24th of October, and they were able to defeat Benin by 2 goals to nothing in Lome. Now the second leg is taking place in the MK Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, where the Super Falcons would already have one legs already in the WAFCON of 2026. Don't forget that they're the reigning champions when it has to do with the Women African Cup of Nations, and they are going in for their 11th title in the next WAFCON. So a decent job against Benin Republic today in the Abeokuta will be enough to make sure the Super Falcons qualify for the WAFCON. However, there are four take-home points we should expect from this particular game, and I will talk about those 4 points. So just sit back, relax, and listen. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscription button there, so you will not miss out on anything to do with the Super Falcons. And the number one point, we will expect the coach who they call Justin Madugu to come winning with maybe different legs in this particular game. Now, don't forget that the first leg had more of the key players, had the likes of Ashley Plumtree in the defense. We had Alosia also. We also had the experience Ohali in the defense, and also with Oluwatosin. Now, some believe that we might see a bit of a fresh legs in the defense. Some are hoping to see maybe one or two players coming in the defense side. Some believe that maybe we might see O'Halley sitting on the bench today. But basically, the whole point is that we might have some new faces. Afolabi played in the first leg against Benin and in midfield. So we expect some new faces to come up. Some players who stay from the bench might start in this particular game against Benin, the second leg. But what I can assure you is that the likes of Esther will still start today. They will still play the game. I can assure you about that. But maybe Asashola might play. I can't really talk about that, but we'll definitely have a different lineup, not exactly what we had in the first leg. I can assure you around that. So a different lineup, maybe one or two players might join the first 11, or three players might join the first 11. Some of the youngsters or the NPFL players might also have a touch. Many Nigerians are also going to see Omewa start for the Super Falcons. Don't forget, currently, no player in the Super Falcons has scored more goals like Omewa in her club. So she is one of the key players. Someone would love to see her maybe combine with Esther Okuronko in the striking force of the Super Falcons. Not forgetting that Chiwendu is also there. So it will be a very interesting one to see what would happen. But I can assure you, we'd have some different players coming up this evening. That's number 1 point. Number 2 points would be a more coordinated midfield, which will be led by nobody else but Abiodun. Now, Abiodun definitely would lead the midfield today, and we're expecting, a very, very coordinated one. Now, we followed up their training, and one thing I could tell you during that training was that they thought there was this kind of long passes that the Super Falcons were working more on, as we expect Abiodun to do more of those are long passes and to clear the road for those strikers to score. So we're expecting a very, very coordinated midfield in that particular game. So a perfect coordinated midfield, what we're expecting, and that's a number 2 point. Number 3 point will definitely be from the defensive end. Now we are expecting the coach to also work on his defense. Now we're hoping he's going to work on it based on the fact that we watched the game against Benin. There was a bit of shake, so we're expecting a defense that will be more coordinated compared to what we had in Lome, where we could see the second half of the game the Benin team were putting a lot of pressure to see how they could pull through. So I think we would have to have a situation whereby the defense will be more coordinated in this particular game against Benin, the second leg game in Abeokuta. And the fourth point would be that the team will build everything around Esther Okoronkwo. Esther will be the key lady to watch again in this particular game, whereby all passes will be directed towards her from the midfield to the defense. All passes will be towards one player, which will definitely be Esther Okoronkwo, because Esther Okoronkwo has a lot to offer, and many will believe that she will be the lady to do the needful and score the goals today. So she's not going to just go do the creative passes. She's going to be the key lady in the Nigerian striking force. So everybody should needs to watch out for what Esther Okoronkwo will bring to the table in this particular game. So that is it for the Super Falcons against Benin. 4 points we should expect. The first point, don't forget, we spoke about, would have a different lineup. Some new faces would definitely would be in the team. Number two, we spoke about the midfield of the Super Falcons, which we will see a player like, Deborah doing a lot of her long passes. And number four, we spoke about a defense that would improve, because the defense at the time collapsed against Benin in Lome. And number four is that the game will be built around Esther Okoronkwo, which she definitely would be the key player, where all passes from the midfield and defense will be directed towards her. So let's see what happens around the Super Falcons of Nigeria when they take play against Benin, 4 p.m. Nigerian time at the MKO Abiola Stadium. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so you miss out what's happening around the Super Falcons, Super Eagles, and all the biggest sporting stories from Nigeria. Richard Unwaje is my name. I'm out.